Exactly. Now, I think here is an interesting point that you mentioned uh, on parenting. You said that you have two kids. Actually, I'm getting ready. I'm going to be a father as well next summer. So
Material.
thank you, and I would like to ask your advice here because I totally agree that we shouldn't push our kids into like predetermined careers. Let them find their ways in life. But how should we balance this with still helping them or pushing them to maximize their efforts, to be hardworking, to not tell them what to be, not tell them to be a doctor or an engineer, but to help them realize that they should try and do their best.
Mhm. I'm usually very careful about giving advice to young parents uh, because I think how can I say it, you have to build your own rules and you have your own character, you and your
Of
partner,
course.
and I think that's something that you should decide your own rules. So again,
Mm,
for me to, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can give you ideas of things that work
okay.
for me. Um, I think it's a mistake to try to build a mini me with your kids.
Yeah.
I think what you realize, what you think. I think most of parents think that they're going to be just like you, just smaller, and eventually getting bigger. Uh, but you then realize, especially if you have two kids, because you can see the difference, two or more, you can see the difference of personality, and it's very humbling. But I think you're a guide to your kids.
Mm,
You there to guide them, and if you can give them love and self-confidence and focus on that, they will be successful. They usually be happy.
mm,
um, that's about it. The rest is again guiding them to their life, and helping them to be independent, not trying to help them too much, trying to let them
yeah.
figure out, let them, like that's with my younger kid, that's what I repeat over and over these days, like fail, 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 fail. Don't be scared to fail. I
Of
remind
course.
them that when they were babies, I think you fall on your bum about 3,000 times, 5,000 times, and then you stand up again. But and if you were scared to fall on your bum, you would have never been able to walk. So I beg them to fail, because if they fail, it means they tried, and if they try, hopefully they learn, and then they get they have this mentality, and they can become more and more independent. Uh,
Exactly.
so again, do whatever you want, like be you as a father, but I'm more than a guide, than I'm not their friend, that's for sure. I don't want to be their friend. I'm very friendly to them. I play cards with them.
Yeah.
We have fun with them. Bring them to sport. But I'm not their friend. They have plenty of friends. I'm not trying to be to earn their friendship. That I really don't care. But
Yeah.
again, I'm just trying to guide them to eventually like teenagehood and adulthood, and for them to be them. I don't want them to be have a certain sort of success, certain sort of pre-ID that will make me feel good. For me, like if they themselves, they found themselves, they found uh, a career, or they build their own company, and they're happy, that's awesome.
Totally. I totally agree with you. I think this is the in parenting, as you mentioned at the beginning, you are right. It's very hard to give advice, and there are no objective rules here. But I think on one side that we can talk about is that those rules that you shouldn't be doing. I think that's a lot easier to think about. And this is a very good point that you said, that do not overprotect them, and let them try things and let them fail. I saw a lot of experiences. My wife is a teacher, and she also we talk about this a lot. That there are some kids that are so overprotected that the poor kids can't really do anything. Everything is done for them by the parents, and they are you can see that they are just failing in society. They cannot do things for themselves. So I think this is the biggest mistake, to not let your kids fail and experiment.
Life is fun, but life is tough. So you have to be tough to
Exactly.
face this world. In the US, there used to be helicopter parents. So, like, you imagine a helicopter hovering over the kids, just make sure they do everything right. Now there's a new term is lawnmower parents, meaning like it's like a lawnmower, when you want to cut grass.
Yeah.
So they're in front of you and they mow the grass, so everything is like smooth. And it's like if
Yeah.
they put cushion on both sides of you so that you never hurt yourself. No, no, like again, to me, that's not a way to have the kids be ready to leave the nest and to become an adult. My older kid, I never help him to do any homework. He gets up on his own at 6:30 every morning to go to work. He gets the tram on his own. He does his own thing. He comes back. He does his homework on his own, and yeah, maybe if I help him, he could have a slightly better grade. Also, his grade is great. Uh, but I'd rather him to not to be again. I'm not looking for perfection, and I think that's another thing. Like, uh,
Yeah.
tr- my advice would be like try for your kids not to look for perfection. It's easy going to school. If you have a 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20, or whatever grade you have in Romania, if you have the
Yeah.
top grade, you think like you're doing a great job as a parent. I don't really agree with it. I'd rather
Of
them
course.
to, again, to have not perfect, but for them to have done it on their own, to have understood on their own. To me, that's a better way to build, to prepare them for their future.
Of course, I think it's pretty selfish from the parents to act with their kids as their. It's like having a property, and you want to make it like this, so you can brag about him to your friends. But if you like really consider the whole picture, when you are not going to be there, they are going to get hurt even more than if you just let them now hurt themselves a little bit, in like not physically but emotionally, or to fail in these challenges. So in the long term, you are doing more damage than if you just let them damage themselves now.
Again and again, I don't know how was again, we are quite influenced with your parents. I don't know how was the parenting of your parents with you, but that will definitely have an influence on what who as a parent you're going to be.
Of course, of course. I had the same, so I think we are on the same page here. They are still really supportive, but letting me be independent and go my own way, not pushing me too much, not supporting. I went to work camps when I was 16 to buy my first phone, or stuff like that. So I really believe in this, to let your children start getting independent as early as possible and do things for themselves.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I can't wait for the moment when they will be, dad, screw you. I'm looking for
Yeah,
for this day because I've done that with my parents, and I think that's when I became an adult. Telling like I'm going to stand for me. I'm going to make my own decision, and I think it's a funny way. Like I can't wait for them to be in the, I don't know, 18, 19, or whatever age they are, and say screw you. Like this is my decision, and I might put a face, on the spot, but I will be super happy because again, that will show determination, personality, and that they will be ready to do their thing for them and not for me. Like I really don't want them to do anything to please me. I would have failed as a parent.
of course. I think there is a saying about children looking at their parents, at their father. At the first stage, they idealize their parents. They look at them as like gods. They are doing everything. They are the gods of this little world of ours. Then the next stage is when they demonize their parents, when they are getting teenagers and young adults. They are finding the problems with their parents and always fighting. And then they humanize their parents when they grow up and become complete adults and understand their parents as another person, and understand those things that were so confusing in their childhood. I think this is a very interesting
But you said
analogy.
something interesting. Like, I think the demonizing thing during the teenagehood is very important.
Yeah,
It's very important because it's where you were very dependent as a child, but then you become a teenager, and that's when you these two parents or single parents, if there's a single parent, but the parents' image is very dumping and is very can be overpowering for a child. And there's a moment when you demonize the parents as a teenager, and that's when you build your own personality. And I
yeah,
think that's when it can be a mistake to try to be a friend with your kids.
yeah,
Again, I'm very friendly with them, play games and stuff, but I'm not their friend. I'm not their friend. I'm their father. And if you are their friends, maybe they never demonize you, and they are very confused about
yeah.
their own personality because I don't know, it gets confusing. I like to keep things pretty separate. Again, uh,
Of course,
I have friends, they have friends, and we're not friends, and
exactly.
that's okay.
Yeah, you are totally right. I think if you try to skip this step, the demonization, you are not going to earn their respect later on. Because if in that period, if they do not agree with you, but you keep your stance and you are not changing your values, which is quite a stupid strategy to be friends and just give up your values and say, I saw some situations like that, and it's very weird and I would say, probably it's a strong word, but a little bit disgusting, even when a parent, the teenager grows up and he is very like rock and roll, and the parent is just changing and trying to keep up with the children. He is doing the same things. He is very childish. It's a very, very bad strategy. And as you said, if we skip this step, then it cannot turn into like real respect, and the humanization part is probably going to be skipped as well.
Yeah, and I think that it somehow fitted my journey. That I think if I maybe never had this epiphany, or again be demonizing my parents at some point and want to do things for me, I may have stayed in my small village, which would
Yeah,
have been great. You know, it's a lovely village, Saint-Laurent-Douin, if you ever had the chance to go there, and in the middle of Beaujolais. But again, I wanted to do things on my own, and I think I like this idea that you and again, everybody can have their own ideas with how with your own journey. But I like the ideas of your 20s is to have fun,
yeah,
and by having fun, I think you're developing even more personality for your career later on. 30s to maybe focus on family if you want to have kids, and 40s, that's when 40s. I'm in my 40s, and that's when you have experience, you have strengths,
yeah.
and this is a great time to be excellent and to deliver a great work ethic.
Of course, this is the period for our viewers. I think this is also great advice. In their 20s, they should accept and go for the hardest challenges. Just leave, go to places, learn, study, try to work, try to earn money in all the different ways. I did the same thing, and I think this made my life the most. I got the best opportunities and learned a lot, made lots of very interesting friends. So I'm very grateful for this period. I think for our viewers, this is what they should do in their 20s, young adulthood, to take those challenges as you did. Thanks for watching this video. You can watch the full podcast episode by clicking here, or watch another interesting video by clicking here. Let's continue the discussion in the comment section and see you in the next one.